So thank you for coming. For those of you who I haven't met yet, my name is Eapen Thampy, and Joe Tremolada is here as well. Joe? This is where we live, and Kyle, our roommate, who's back there, was very gracious to help us prepare this spread. So thank you, Kyle.
Indeed.
Aye.
So I guess I first became interested in liberty issues when I was in high school. I remember reading about the war on drugs and marijuana prohibition and SWAT raids. I remember Radley Balco was beginning his writing career about then as well. And with the internet and the spread of electronic communication, stories of government misconduct and absolutely crazy things happening in this country were being spread. And I remember in high school feeling really hopeless about this entire situation. You know, I'd never touched marijuana. I didn't begin using marijuana until a couple of years ago. But back in high school, I saw them bringing dogs to school. I saw students being searched. I saw people being expelled, and at 13, 14, and being introduced to the criminal justice system. I thought it was completely fascist and not something that we should be about in this country. And it was a very depressing time for me because I didn't really see how things would change. And things have changed. 2 years ago in California, I remember watching the news reports about Proposition 19 and holding my, crossing my fingers and just being amazed that it could be brought, that marijuana legalization could be brought to that point in this country. And in this election cycle, we're here also partially because we support issues like Amendment 64 here in I-502 in Washington and the legalization effort in Oregon as well, and I believe Arkansas and Massachusetts also have medical initiatives that they'll be voting on soon. But it's an incredible time, and I was in Joplin, Missouri 2 years ago. I'd been invited to speak by the excellent Joplin Normal organization, and they'd invited Governor Gary Johnson to speak as well. And that's when I met Gary, and that's when I began hearing the conversation that's really energized a lot of people in this election season, given a lot of people hope and an idea that America can be about something better than war and oppressive government and government intrusion and the Patriot Act and the things that have really hurt our society in ways that really can't be told in a short speech or in an hour maybe. But that's why I'm here, and that's why we're all here to support Governor Gary Johnson and Judge Jim Gray for their presidential campaign. And I'm planning on making a donation through the internet. I've got the website up on my laptop. If anyone would like to give that way, I can set that up for you. I encourage you to do so. And I thank Judge Gray for being here tonight, and I'll let you talk for a couple minutes.
Good, thank you. Put yourself in my place. I see what's going on around the country. I see what will happen if we re-elect Obama, we elect Romney, and I know full well, and we know full well, the answer really is with Governor Gary Johnson, and it's just really frustrating, it's really sad, because we do have answers. And I'm not saying we're brilliant, but we actually do have approaches. And you look at all of these ads that Romney and Obama are putting out on the airwaves, hundreds of millions of dollars on these ads. And have any of you seen any of them in which they tout about their record? Boy, I haven't. And have any of you heard any new ideas, any good ideas, any possibly feasible ideas from any of these in these ads? I haven't. What are they talking about? They're talking about how inept the other one is. And we agree with both of them. They really are inept. They don't have a clue. And in fact, as to what Romney stands for, other than being against abortion and against gay marriage, I don't even think he knows what he stands for. And as far as Obama, what does he stand for? Other than giving our money to as many people as he can, I don't know what he stands for either. But I do know what Governor Gary Johnson stands for. So we are running here, and we have a way of bringing back to our great country this, literally, this prosperity, this equal opportunity and this freedom that now literally is falling through our fingers. So what do? Well, you can give up or you can keep trying. And we had to be a part of these presidential debates. They've come and gone now, and we were not. And so we're not going to be viable because still, so many people around the country don't even know who Governor Gary Johnson is as they're going to go to the polls. Had we been a part of those debates, they would. But we will continue. We just get 5%, and we've got to do this. I'm going to be horrified if we don't do at least that much. But if we get that, that means what? It means, first of all, that we will gain viability. People around the country, whoops, oh, these guys are players also. And also, of course, we'll end up getting a fair amount of money from the federal government for that sort of thing. We're going to be running in 2016. I'm here to tell you. Now, we can't really announce it as such because that brings various technicalities, but Governor Johnson is going to be running between now and 2016, and so am I. We're going to continue bringing in these words, bringing in these actions, bringing in these deeds of what? Financial responsibility, social tolerance, and freedom. And that is exactly what the people of the United States of America want, crave, and will demand. And we bring in something else. And if we could have been involved in these debates, this is why we would have won the election. Because we will actually bring in a coalition government. Yes, we'll have a government, of course, and highly placed of independents, libertarians, but also Republicans and Democrats, as long as they buy into our approach of financial responsibility and social tolerance. And so when we have all of this paranoid politics, this bipolar politics, this selfish politics going on in Washington today, we'll have some of their colleagues, Republicans, Democrats, go out, talk to your Confederates, bring them on board. This is a good idea, support it. We'll give credit to anybody that has a good idea. Anybody that supports a good idea, we will actually galvanize the people to move in favor of our country instead of all this selfish politics. And had we been able to get that word out, we would have won the election. This time, we actually will win it in 2016. We just need your help. Get this word out. We only have, what, a week and a half or so before the election. We can still do this thing. We're polling about 6% nationwide. Some polls actually have us like 10% in Ohio, 12% in New Mexico. That's good. And then in where was it? Missouri, I think we're at 1%. So there's an average, but we are at about 6%. We have that answer. We have the soul of the United States of America at risk. The soul of the United States of America is being lost. What is our soul? You folks know this. It's our freedoms and our liberties. And our soul is under attack by our very own government. So we do come at Obama from the left. We really do stand for liberal values. How anybody that has liberal values could have signed this National Defense Authorization Act is beyond me. Absolutely not. And he's embraced the Patriot Act. We actually are in favor of the repeal of the death penalty. Regardless of your political philosophy and views, it isn't working. We stand for those liberal values. Guantanamo, the rest of that. We would close it. But we also come at Romney from the right. We really would reduce the size, the intrusion, the cost of the federal government. And we can and we will do this. So it's been really invigorating for me to be, well, with Joe tonight and others that are involved in this movement. You have been, you understand. However, just meeting with libertarians is great, but having us all agree on how smart we are isn't going to get it done. We've got to expand that net to other people as well. I was at Stanford. I was just telling you a few of you a minute ago. 3 days ago, I spoke for about an hour and 45 minutes, answering their questions, lively debate, really good people understanding this stuff, getting excited. Then I was actually on a radio show for about 30 minutes after this. Nobody left. They were all sitting and standing in small groups, excitedly talking about these various issues. And then after that, 3 of these young people came up to me and said, Judge Gray, I have never been so excited about voting before. It's real. It's what people want. It's what people crave. We as libertarians have that answer. So take forth, go at them, continue to spread this. All of you have ways of doing it, and you are doing it. In your own way, continue with this, and we're going to be there too, and we're going to get it done in 2016 after we get at least that 5% here. So thank you for being here. Thanks for all of you for organizing this. It's fun for me, as you can imagine, and let's just keep it up. And if you have any questions, I'd love to be able to respond to those too.
So I have a question. So since you already have a goal for 2016, that means You're going to be just campaigning nonstop for next 4 years.
We're going to be campaigning completely throughout. I already have some places that I will be at. They've already asked me to speak around the nation. The answer is yes.
What does the 5% trigger?
5% will trigger matching funds from the federal government. How much, I don't know, but in the millions of dollars. And the millions of dollars would be nice, it kind of gets us going. But even more than that, it gives us legitimacy. It puts us up there with the other two parties.
Does it get you on the debates?
No. The debates, we're going to continue with our lawsuits. You have to understand, the Presidential Debates Commission, so-called, is completely made up of Republicans and Democrats, and they have worked it out brilliantly, I might add, for themselves to be able to squelch any possible third-party voices. So they right now have the requirement, the entry. If you were polling at 15%, it's an average of 5 national polling groups, you can be invited to participate in the presidential debates. We're not even carried in 5 national polling, so it just isn't going to happen.
This is why you need friends in the press. Who are the friends in the press can help you with this?
You know, it's really one of those chicken and egg things, because we need to be polling well, but you don't poll well unless you got lots of press, and you don't get lots of press unless you're polling well. But we are going to pursue, it's an antitrust lawsuit in Los Angeles. We're going to show the world what's going on here. And actually, one of the things we'll show, the League of Women Voters actually was running the Presidential Debates Commission until the late 1980s, of all things. And they actually withdrew their name, saying, we will not have our name attached to this in the hoodwinking of America, is their term. So we're going to bring all of this stuff out. We're going to do this as a public service, and in the meantime, we're going to get into debates next time.
And what's the status of that lawsuit?
It's been filed. We drew a bad judge, actually. We tried to get involved in the debates now. It's a little technical, and to get involved with an ex parte motion, meaning you've got to do it right now, money damages won't help, etc. He never actually allows hearings on ex parte motions. That's just the way he was. So the Presidential Debates Commission filed an opposition to our complaint, and they said, wait a minute, Judge, what's the deal here? We promulgated our procedures in October of 2011. They could have filed it then, and they didn't allow us to file a reply. Well, look, wait a minute. We weren't even nominated until May of 2012, so that's academic. And then we maybe naively thought that we would actually meet their criteria, thought we'd meet that 15%, you know, with the Ron Paul people and getting out of Afghanistan people, and actually the Persian Americans that really don't like the idea of us dropping bombs on their families still in Iran, all that sort of stuff. We thought we would get to 15%. We didn't. But we didn't know that until we were not invited. Your Honor, we were not invited yesterday. We filed a complaint today. How fast could we do this? He didn't let us say that. So we couldn't appeal that there was no record. We're going to pursue this, though, after the election.
But
I
think if we get a 5% this election,
yes.
I think very likely then the media exposure will be very big, and you will get into presidential debate next time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's really key.
Yeah.
Every vote really counts in this election. Just get us that 5%.
Are you talking about 5% of the general votes?
5% of the
popular votes.
National. 5% of the popular vote
Okay, good,
nationwide.
good. So every vote counts.
Every vote truly
Yeah.
counts.
Because we have to do more persuasion.
You know, and it's true. You know, we are actually getting. I saw in the LA Times today on the plane. I didn't expect this. We had a full-page ad in the LA Times for Governor Gary Johnson and me in there. We're getting our you've heard some radio ads, I hope. You've seen some TV ads. Go to our website. The TV ads are sensational, and they're actually true of all things, which is amazing in today's world. But we're getting money to put these ads out as well.
So here's a question that I heard that our campaign has been just swamped, and you guys are very busy, short of staff, manage your campaign, and we cannot get a timeline on the website to say when you were planning to be here, doing fundraising, talking to people. Sounds like are you really swamped, short of staff?
We're small.
Okay.
You know, we really are small, and it's so frustrating for me because we have good people out here saying, oh, gee, you know, last time I was in Denver, actually, they drove me around and said, to various places. Oh, had I known you were going to be here 3 days ago, we could have done this, we could have done that.
Yeah.
We've got to do that better. And we're going to have our victory celebration in Albuquerque on the night of the election, and we'll be there. The next morning, we as a campaign are going to be meeting. The governor will be there, and Ron Nielsen, and the rest of us, and we're going to be talking about what we've done right, what we could do better. We haven't had, for example, on our website, we haven't had anything in Spanish on our website. Nothing in Vietnamese, nothing in various other languages. We should. How much could it cost? And we should have literature that we pass out. Come on, this is a national campaign. We're not going to write off the Latino vote. We're not going to write off any vote, because these people actually will gravitate to. We have the answers with regard to immigration.
So the
All
campaign
these
after,
things.
so the election night, next day, you should plan for next 4 years.
Precisely what we're going to
Yes.
do. Precisely what we're
So
going to do.
we'll have a lot better, a lot bigger
Yes,
impact.
and you know, in fairness to us, you can go to the Obama administration, who has hundreds of millions of dollars, and they have whole acres of office buildings and all that sort of stuff. We don't. You know, we have one person for this and one person for that, and they get overwhelmed. And I'm the candidate. I mean, what do I know? I'm the mouthpiece and stuff. They tell me that I should go around and I should have yada forms on me. What does that mean? So many people, and they're well-meaning and they're anxious and the rest, they say, oh, you ought to do this. Oh, you ought to talk to him. Oh, you ought to do, I pass them a yada form saying, help us out here. I can't do it. I've just given up. I am unable to do this programming and this planning. We're going to be stronger. We're going to be a lot better
If
version.
you also raise more money, that means you also could hire more staff professionally, full-time manage this
It's all
campaign for the
connected.
2016.
It's all connected. That's right.
So-
and we're going to be doing this.
Any big deep pocket donors that lined up for the Libertarian?
We're working on them. We got actually one guy who donated $1 million to our PAC, and he's a very successful businessman out of Sacramento. And I had some hand in bringing that in. So it's out there. We just need to pursue it. And if any of you have any ideas, this is so important for our country. In fact, I end most of my presentations with this fellow who's a hero of mine. Maybe you've heard of him, by the name of Thomas Jefferson. And he said, look, when we finally ratified the Constitution, he said, congratulations. He was off in France, but in a fragile republic, in a fragile democracy, you're going to need to have a revolution every generation. Why? Because the private interests will inveigle their way into power and will sap our vitality and will sap our strength. And as I say, and I mean it down to my soul, it's so gratifying, it's so humbling, it's so exciting. I believe deeply that this revolution is finally here, and it takes the form of Governor Gary Johnson and Judge Jim Gray. We're going to do this. We're going to do it together. We have a team. We have so many good people, like the people here. We just need to be more of us. So keep getting that out there. Keep talking about it. Keep working this thing. Liberty really counts. I mean, the soul of in the United States of America. What sets us apart? Why so many people around the world believe in America. They love America. They don't particularly like our government, neither do I, but they want to come to America. For what reason? Because it's our soul, our freedoms and our liberties, and our soul is under attack today by our very own government. And it's time for us as libertarians to stop this. And
That's
we
why I
will.
talk about as an immigrant from China, because
Same deal.
I took so much time, efforts, and the struggle to come here. And
Yep.
now I'm fighting for
Should not be
liberty
that
because
hard.
I'm afraid that if we're going to lose that in this country, I don't want to go back to China. So it's like,
We don't
I
want
want
you
to
to
stay
go.
here,
This is
fight.
your-
I want to stay
This is
here,
your
fight.
home.
Yeah.
You make us great. These people coming into our country to have a better life, that's what all of our ancestors have done. They bring here and they make us great. We're going to do this, guys. Believe me, we're going to do this. Let's just reinvigorate ourselves. Don't get discouraged. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen soon. So
So-
thank you. Appreciate the
Thank
you.
opportunity to talk.